Welcome back. Let's take a look at news making headlines for the field. The African Union Summit was concluded today, and one of the highlights is South Africa being appointed as the chair of the Peace and Security Council of the African Union. President Cyril Ramaphosa has a challenging task ahead, as he is now expected to ensure that the Peace and Security Council of the AU attends to all conflicts on the continent.
Yes, South Africa had been appointed as the chairperson of the Peace and Security Council, which is really the real main centerpiece of the work of the African Union Assembly, because the continent continues to work on the project of silencing the guns throughout the continent, and therefore it occupies a lot of the time of the Assembly. We were able to report on the various conflicts that are taking place on the continent. Of course, we started off with a great success in relation to Ethiopia, where there was a settlement in South Africa facilitated by President Obasanjo, President Kenyatta, and our own former Deputy President Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, where we were able to get the government of Ethiopia and the Tigray Liberation Front to agree on a cessation of hostilities and to start working on peace. We're rather pleased to know and notice that peace is descending on Ethiopia, so that was a huge accolade that we paid to the key leaders who have been involved. We also dealt with the conflict that's been going on in the eastern DRC, and in that regard President Lorenzo of Angola has played a key role together with President Kenyatta and President Ndayishimiye of Burundi, and we were able to get a really good report where after a 5-hour meeting yesterday, President Lorenzo was able to bring the parties together, and we were able to confirm that the conflict would stop, the relationship between Rwanda and the DRC would be improved, and that the Eastern African Community Regional Force would now get into the whole process and be peace builders in the area, and that M23 will stop hostilities, and that there will be a disarmament of that force. So that to us was great success. Of course, we also discussed conflict in our own area in Mozambique and applauded the steps that are being taken by SADC. We also looked at the conflict in the Sahel region, and also argued and insisted that the 4 countries that have been suspended as a result of unconstitutional taking over of power through force of arms should immediately return to peace, or to democracy. So we also presented a report on the COVID-19 issue, where as COVID-19 champion, South Africa made a number of proposals, including how we strengthen the Africa CDC and how we want to embark on measures to get the continent better prepared for future pandemics. So it's been a really good meeting and covered a number of other issues, and of course the Africa Continental Free Trade Area also occupied center stage in terms of getting it to come into full operation with SACU, our own Southern African Customs Union, putting forward its own offer to be accepted so that it can start trading as our region as part of the AfCFTA. So I think this has been a very productive assembly, and which paves the way for peace, which paves the way for economic growth and trading, which paves the way also for the Africa peer review mechanism to start working more effectively, so that countries on the continent can be able to review each other's processes, democratic and otherwise, and it also paves the way for the empowerment of women and young people. And so the continent is certainly dealing with the problems. There are many challenges, infrastructure challenges and economic and many others. But this type of assembly meeting, which brings heads of state together, certainly is a great platform to enable the continent to collectively deal with issues together and working together. The work that we did during COVID is a clear demonstration of how, when we work together as a continent, we are able to achieve a great deal of progress. So it's been a good summit.